Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a live watch along here on the Coast Football YouTube channel tonight. It is Sydney FC taking on Kaya FC over in the Philippines Asian Champions League 2. Sydney FC have made a fantastic start to the Asian Champions League 2, a big 5-0 victory at home a couple of weeks ago, and they'll be looking to get another big 3 points here to put them in a great position already early on to get through to the knockouts. Obviously, Sydney FC have high aspirations in this tournament. Central Coast Mariners won this tournament last season, and Sydney FC will want to be matching the feats of their A-League rivals from last season as well. Kickoff is just a matter of minutes away. And Sydney FC's lineup here, just a couple changes from the team that won last time around against Eastern SC. Let's focus on this lineup now as the teams are prepared to come out onto the field. A few changes. Obviously, first of all, in goals, Andrew Redmayne is back. That was the expected one. He missed out in the last game due to concussion. So Redmayne is back. That is a huge plus for Sydney FC. Popovic starts. Alex Popovic starts at centre-back tonight, replacing Joel King in defence. Again, not too surprising there. Alex Popovic signed on loan, a short-term loan deal, but do have the option to buy Alex Popovic there. He's on loan from Korean side Gwangju, and he's starting in defence tonight against Aidan Matthews. So this is pretty much, at least defensively, you look at that back four plus Andrew Redmayne, that's basically like a full-strength sort of Sydney FC defensive setup there. There is another change in midfield. Corey Holman is starting tonight in a defensive midfield role alongside Leo Senna. So no Anas Wahim. He's on the bench tonight. Anas Wahim, who was probably the best player in Sydney FC's first match of this competition a couple of weeks ago. He was fantastic playing in that number 10 role. Caceres will push further up the pitch. Corey Holman into midfield. But it's that front three, Klamala, Costa and Lolly, who I'm sure will once again be running the show tonight for Sydney FC. And I mean, coincidentally enough, these two teams have played each other before. Amazingly, just a couple of years ago, they played each other in during a preliminary phase of Asian Champions League qualifiers. Sydney FC winning on that occasion as well. So I think the expectation is that Sydney should win here as well. Central Coast Mariners, I believe, went over to the Philippines during the group stage of the AFC Cup last season as well. I got a winner over there also. So Sky Blues here, I think, expected to win, and especially considering the result that we saw from their first game, a big 5-0 win. I think we should definitely see another win. G'day to Brady in the chat. Matt's here as well, Pseudo Intellectuals. Come on, Sydney FC, says Matty. Sky Blues, big season ahead for them, hey? Intellectual says, good luck to the boys from Moore Park Road. That's right. The boys on blue from Moore Park Road. That's right. So the teams are going through the, well, I was going to say handshakes. They're more like high fives. Douglas Costa starting again for Sydney FC. I mean, this is good signs. Look, a lot of sort of, understandably so, a lot of, I guess, trepidation from fans across Australia in regards to some of these big player signings, Douglas Costa and One Matter being the two. One Matter, obviously, at Western Sydney Wanderers this season. You know, with what had happened with these marquee signings in recent years, the likes of Nani and Daniel Sturridge, they just really struggled with injuries, didn't have much of an impact in the league, unfortunately. It's great to see Douglas Costa starting once again tonight for Sydney FC. Great to see Fortnite here in the watch-along as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Tan Lee is here. Hope you're doing well also. Anne-Marie, Central Coast Mariners was hopeless. Look, it wasn't a great performance at all, was it? It was not great from Central Coast Mariners. I put out a video today on the channel. You can check it out afterwards, discussing the Mariners and their shaky start in the Asian Champions League Elite. It is early days. I mean, the positive thing is that it's still very early on. We remember Mariners last season made a really rocky start as well in the A-League and managed to turn it around and pick up just about every trophy. So, but don't get me wrong, the performance was really, really poor. Probably Mariners' worst performance. I mean, it's pretty easy to say. The performance of Mariners on Tuesday night was probably our worst performance in almost a year. Yeah, we registered 3 shots, which was just incredible. We were just completely off the pace. So a lot of work for Mark Jackson. So yeah, I made a full dedicated video talking about my Mariners and the situation at the moment, sort of what's going wrong at the moment, and maybe, you know, looking for the positives as well from here. Good to see Yarn in the chat. Says there's more people watching your stream than at the game. There doesn't appear to be many fans at the game. On the near side, I guess the camera side, there's a bunch of fans. But yeah, it's always funny with these games, especially in the AFC Cup or now it's Asian Champions League 2. Sometimes you don't see. Sometimes there are decent turnouts, but yeah, there was only just over 3,000, I think, in Gosford on Tuesday night as well. JJ, g'day to JJ. If you want to watch this game as well, for those, if you're wondering, if you're in Australia, you can watch this game on 10 Play. 10 Play. 10 Play. All right, kickoff is just about to get underway here. Quick little glance here at the table. Sydney FC currently sitting on top, +5 on the goal difference. Sanfrecce Hiroshima taking on Eastern later tonight, 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's straight after this one. But we are set to get underway here. Here for all the reaction, all the live analysis, experiencing this game together. Sydney FC, a lot of excitement around this team. What are they going to offer in the A-League this season? And already, I mean, early signs are looking good. And if they can get another big win here, well, that'll just be fantastic for their momentum heading into the A-League 2024-25 season. If you're jumping in the chat, say good day. Make sure to drop a like as well, support the channel. You can also consider sending through a super chat. But the Sky Blues here, certainly expected to grab 3 points. Fortnite asks, Lockie, do you think Arzani will leave? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the Arzani situation will cool down a bit. For those who are unaware, I made a video going over the Arzani situation a couple of days ago on the channel. Basically, to recap it really quickly, he was dropped from the Australia Cup final team altogether. Allegedly, there was a bit of a bust up in training. This came from Nicholas Lennon on X. He reported that there was an altercation of some sort at training. I go into more details in it on that video, but I think I'm hoping this is just a one-off. Obviously, it's a big one-off to drop a player for a cup final, but hopefully it does get resolved, and Arzani will be, a big part of victory going ahead. Definitely Griddle at halftime, as always. Tan Lee says, I'm excited about tomorrow's Popovich squad announcement. Me too. And excited to say that we will be doing a live stream tomorrow as well at midday for our full reaction and analysis of that squad. That is midday Australian Eastern Standard Time. So come hang out, little lunchtime stream, as we have a look at Tony Popovich's first squad as Socceroos head coach. Who could we see return for the Roos? Surely Geordie Boss. Maybe some midfielder shake-ups. Maybe Alex Robertson, Riley McGree's back in action as well. Very curious to see what Tony Popovich does with the squad. Just 2 minutes into this game, 0-0. Sydney looking to get themselves on the ball early on here. Looks like Douglas Costa's. Now, this was a feature of Sydney FC in that first game. We were, of course, doing a live watch-along for Sydney FC's first game in this competition a few weeks ago. A lot of you guys here joined us for that one as well. And sort of that front, sort of the wingers more like, I guess, did a lot of rotating around, floating around. Joe Lolly and Douglas Costa sort of had a free rein to float around. But by the looks of things here, looks like Costa is currently being stationed on the left. Here's a chance for Kaya FC. There's space on the right of Sydney's defence. Oh, it's in! Stunning! Whoa, we've got a goal within minutes. Kaya FC take the lead. Sydney's defence caught napping. Look at the celebrations. This is huge. Whoa. Barely 3 minutes in and the home team have the lead. That's an absolute disaster for Sydney FC. We did not see that coming. The long throw, Hayden Matthews didn't really manage to deal with it. Neither did Corey Holman. And all of a sudden, there's all this space in the box. Whoa. And how has Andrew Redmayne not kept that out? Was there a deflection? Well, where's Ryan Grant? I mean, the space has opened up. It's a great little cut back there. Andrew Redmayne surely has to do better. Sydney have conceded within 3 minutes. Daiso the number 10 for Kaya FC scoring. Wow. No way indeed, Tan Lee. No way indeed. And funnily enough, Jared, who just says, well, and that is the expectation that Sydney will comfortably win this. And there you go. They concede within just a couple minutes, 1-0 to Kaya FC. What country is Kaya FC? They are from the Philippines. Philippines. Central Coast Mariners traveled to the Philippines in their AFC Cup run last year as well. Kaya FC. What a start. Huge, dude. That's huge for Kaya FC, man. I mean, this is a team who maybe not. I think you look at the group here. The other opponents in the group, Sydney FC, obviously defeated Eastern, side from Hong Kong, 5-0. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, one of the top teams from Japan, also in the group. I think the expectation from everyone involved in the group is that Sydney and Sanfrecce Hiroshima will go through. But Kaya FC, I mean, what a start here. The Sydney Ufuk Tale will be livid. I can tell you that right now. He will not be happy. Now, Sydney FC have to reply. Let's see what they do. Nice play down the right, but the offside flag is up. Should mention as well, as far as I'm aware at least, no VAR in this competition. No VAR in the Asian Champions League 2. The referees' calls stand. That was a good offside call too. Grant just mistiming his run there. Wake up, Sydney, says Matt. That's right. That's right. I mean, it was a bizarre. I was just like stunned when that goal went in because it didn't seem right that he had that much space. Daiso, the scorer, was just in acres of space in the box, and it was like, where was Ryan Grant? It's like they'd all pushed across for the throw-in, switched across to the other side of the field, the left side, and there you go. Incredible. If you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, we're only 6 minutes into this game. Sydney FC are already down. They've already conceded. Obviously, after match day 1, a big 5-0 win at home. Sydney FC looking good. I think the expectation was that they're going to cruise through, somewhat cruise through to this group stage. Sanfrecce Hiroshima will be an interesting test. But this is a disaster start here for Sydney FC. That says need Caceres to start cooking. Yep, Anthony Caceres playing a more advanced role tonight, which is, in my opinion, his best position. On match day 1, he was playing a little bit deeper as one of those holding midfielders. Anthony Caceres, you can see, sort of given that free role, playing behind Patrick Lamala, Sydney down the right again. Joe Lolly's there. Douglas Costa's floating around. He's involved in the build-up here. He was very good, Douglas Costa, on match day 1, wasn't he? Very good. Didn't get a goal, but got an assist and was involved in a couple of goals, actually. Fortnite says, Lockie, what happened to the Maresh rumours? Wasn't he close to joining West Sydney Wanderers? Yeah, I remember seeing something about that a couple months ago on the socials. Must have just never eventuated. Tarnley says, I'm wondering if Popovic will move on from old players like how Ange did with Lucas Neal and Mark Schwarzer. I kind of hope so. Like, I've got nothing against like the existing Socceroos squad, but there was some pretty underwhelming performances from a lot of those guys in the most recent window for Australia. So I'm sort of hoping that Popovic goes through a real shake-up. It brings in some young guys. And we put out a video last week going through 10 players Popovic could bring into the team. 10 guys who could potentially either return to the squad or, receive their first call up for a long, long time. One of those players, I mentioned a couple Melbourne Victory players, because obviously Tony Popovic, his links with Melbourne Victory. That's a pretty obvious link to draw upon. So you have to see, looking at get on the attack here. Popovic's header over the bar. Should clarify, we've got two different Popovics we're talking about here. Alex Popovich playing a defence tonight for Sydney FC. Tony Popovich, the new head coach of the Socceroos. Jason Guerrier from Melbourne Victory. I think that could be an interesting call-up for the Socceroos. Score predictions. Yeah, Leanne's saying 3-2 Sydney. Jared's saying 4-1 Sydney. I mean, Jared, I'm probably going your way as well. I mean, yes, it is an absolute disaster of a start here for Sydney FC, who conceded within 3 minutes. But I think the Sky Blues should have enough over 90 mins. Justin says, from his interview, Tony Popovich, I got the impression he thought there were too many young players. There was also a big, I don't know if it's huge, but for me, it's not particularly surprising. But Vince Rigari online shared that, according to sources, Mitch Langerak was contacted to be pulled out of retirement and return to the Socceroos, which a lot of people calling for Mitch Langerak to return to the Socceroos. He's obviously retired from international duty. Same sort of situation with Mas Luongo. He's retired from international duty as well, but a lot of people want to see him return. Obviously, Luongo is currently playing Premier League football with Ipswich Town. But yeah, I don't think we'll see those guys back for Australia, unfortunately. Apparently, Langerak did turn down the offer to return, to come out of retirement. But to me, if they've retired, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Be surprised if they were to make a surprise return. Kaya FC looking to spring down the right. Corey Holman doing well to track back. Sydney Crosby in the chat. Where can we watch the match? You can watch on 10 Play. 10 Play, which means it's free to watch if you're in Australia. Bring Tom Rogic out of retirement. What's Tom Rogic up to at the moment? How old would Tom Rogic be anyway? Tom Rogic he'd be like maybe 33. I'm guessing Tom Rogic is probably 33 now. What's Tom Rogic up to? Someone Google Tom Rogic's age. I'm actually curious now. Is it 30? I feel like I'm spotting with 33. I could be off. Here comes Patrick Klimala. The flag up again. It is. Well, Klimala was the one unlucky guy from match day 1 for Sydney FC. He was on the end of so many chances, but just couldn't get the goal. He had the chance from the penalty spot, and even from there, he wasn't able to convert. So Patrick Klimala. Can he get on the score sheet tonight for Sydney FC? This is match day 2 of the Asian Champions League 2 for the Sky Blues. 6 match days total in the group stage. Top 2 from the group go through. Well, you can just see Ufuk Talay. If you keep an eye on Ufuk Talay on the sideline, he's still standing up. He's looking a little bit frustrated. Sydney have, I think that's a corner. It's either a corner or a throw in here. I don't know if it was kept in. Looks like it is a corner indeed. So the Sky Blues, a bit shaky here to start off, hey? A little bit shaky. Daiso, the goal scorer, coming over to take this set piece. So we're just 13 minutes in, and Kaya FC with a 1-goal lead, incredibly. Across the turf, nice little play here. Looks like it's coming unstuck there for Kaya. Goes out of play for a goal kick. How hot is it there? Sydney look a bit shaky. Great question. Great question. I'll Google this one. Unless someone can beat us to it. What's the temperature right now in the Philippines? I'd imagine it is pretty warm, pretty humid. Oh, Google's telling me it's only 13 degrees. Celsius, of course. Tan Lee, in regards to Mitch Langerak, it's a shame. It's such a shame. I think Langerak had more potential than Orion. 2 fantastic goalkeepers, of course. So, 1-0 to Kaya FC. 14 minutes into this contest. Sydney FC, how will they respond after going down early? A shocking start for the Sky Blues, who grabbed a big 5-0 win on match day 1. Ooh, bit of a collision there, and it will be a free kick going the way of Sydney. Corey Holman getting to the ball first there. And this will be in a great position. I tell you what, this is, for this free kick here, you got 2 fantastic left footers in Joe Lolly and Douglas Costa. They're both going to be eyeing this up. I wonder who's going to be given the responsibility for this free kick. All right. Thank you for that, Football Down Under. 29 degrees, 81% humidity, according to Sydney FC on X. I don't know what I must have typed in the wrong thing then. 29 degrees. Wow. Warm indeed. Warm indeed. That says about 30. How is Sydney losing? They're a much stronger team. It's a great question, Clyde. Shocking start here for Sydney. But Douglas Costa from this free kick, can he capitalise? He's the lone Sydney player standing over this set piece. Here we go. Douglas Costa. Can he score his first goal for Sydney? Oh, side netting. Side netting. He hit it well, though, didn't he? Great power on it. It dipped over the wall really nicely. Replay. Great free kick. Really good free kick. Just offline. Look at the way it dips, though. That's fantastic from Douglas Costa. Might look to score a few free kicks in the A-League this season. Tarnley says Sydney FC jet lag. Haven't seen that one, Clyde. Haven't seen that one. Sydney FC. Well, they're having the bulk of possession now, that's for sure. But it's a matter of what can they do with it. You can see here, this was a feature of match day 1 for the Sky Blues. Courtney Perkins, who's playing at left back once again tonight. Jordan Courtney Perkins. Sydney in possession. He's getting really, really high up the pitch, allowing Douglas Costa, or whether it's Joe Lolly on the left, to drift infield. I think Sydney are going to trouble a lot of teams this season, man, with the way they play, where they dominate the ball when they're not in possession. They like to press pretty high. Douglas Costa doing a lot of drifting infield at the moment, isn't he? Finding some space in the middle of the park. Joe Lolly. His cross is cleared. And Kaya FC. Now, this is a mission for Kaya FC. They've got to defend for like 87 minutes here. 17 minutes in, and they're doing a good job so far. Tarnley says Jason Guerrier and Gianni Stensness are expected to be called up for the Socceroos squad tomorrow. Is that right? Has this been reported somewhere? Is this breaking news right now on our Watchalong stream, Tarnley? Is this on the socials? If you've seen that somewhere, Tarnley, let me know. But it's great to hear if both those guys get a call up. Oh, yeah, just seen it. Shout out to OzHub Football who shared this. This is via Marco Monteverde, sports reporter for News Corp. This is breaking news right now. Jason Guerrier, Gianni Stensness, as you say here, Tarnley, expected to be called up for the Socceroos squad tomorrow. Riley McGree, Geordie Boss, and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos are also set to make their returns after recovering from injury. Wow. Well, this is a live scoop here, live reaction. We always love when we get the live news midstream. That is huge. Wow. Jason Guerrier set for a Socceroos call-up, and Gianni Stensness returning. I mean, great to see Gianni Stensness. He's been playing a lot of football over in Norway at Viking. He's versatile too, whether he plays at centre-back, defensive midfield. Wow. Now, that's interesting. I mean, McGree and Boss returning, not too surprising. Stamatolopoulos, he's one that I didn't expect to see return, but that's huge. That's huge, dude. Justin says, I felt sorry for Stensness when he last played. He wasn't ready, got kind of thrown under the bus. Yeah, it was coming out I remember he was involved in our previous qualifying campaign. It was back in 2021 when he was playing, where I remember when we lost at home to Japan. We did a vlog for that game, actually. It's out on the channel from a few years ago. He earned his Socceroos call-up after some good form at Mariners a few years back. And great to see him returning to the setup. Wow, that is huge. Clyde asks, do you think Cassini Yengi will become the next big striker for Adelaide Australia? In my opinion, yes. I think Yengi is the way forward. I think he's fantastic. He's got all the attributes, you know what I mean? He's tall, he's strong, he's pretty pacey as well. And as long as he can just keep up some good goal-scoring form, he's going to be the way forward for the Socceroos. Obviously, it was a real shame, that red card that he picked up in the game at home to Bahrain. But yeah. So, huge news breaking here live on stream. Sydney FC's trail 1-0 here, 20 minutes in. But thanks to Tan Lee for bringing that up in the chat. It's been shared across the socials. Marco Monteverde sharing it. Shout out to OzHub Football as well for reposting it. Jason Guerrier, Gianni Stensness expected to be called up to the Socceroos. Riley McGree, Jordy Boss, and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos set to return after recovering from injury. So now that's interesting, because then it's like, well, who's going to be dropped? Who's going to be dropped? I mean, with Stensness coming back, is there a centre back that's going to be dropped? Maybe Burgess, maybe Cameron Burgess. I mean, he's not playing in the Premier League right now for Ipswich. Like, he's not getting starting minutes at all. It's an interesting one. Maybe Thomas Deng, but I mean, Thomas Deng's been playing a lot of football in the last few months. So Sydney, cross-tipped into the box. Caceres hits, another block. Desperate defending from Kaya FC. Of course, we will be doing a live stream tomorrow midday for our full reaction to the Socceroos squad as Patrick Lamala fires wide of goal. That's right, Tan Lee. Yengi also has that flair. Great word, isn't it? Japan will be a tough game. Japan will be a tough game, no doubt about it, Jared. You're right. The China game, China have struggled. China have lost their first couple of games in qualifying. So I think we should win. I mean, we say, we said that about the Bahrain game. We should win. And then we ended up losing 1-0. So we don't know. But for Tony Popovich's sake, hopefully we can get a big win in Adelaide next week, which is in 1 week's time. And we will be doing a live watch along for that game as well. There's 2 Kaya FC players who are down hurt here. Sydney FC are breaking away. A bit of chaos on the field here. Klamala in the box, can't get the shot away. But surely the ref has to stop the game. It looked like someone got stepped on. It looks like someone got stepped on in that building. The 2 players are still down here for Kaya FC. We might have somewhat of a lengthy stoppage here for these 2 guys who are down, injured. Wow. Let's have a look at this replay, actually, because it didn't look good. There's a bit of friendly fire. A couple players went down. Hopefully nothing too serious. But yeah, there was definitely 2 Kaya players accidentally tackling each other there, unfortunately. Darnley says Stensons can also play as defensive midfield. Absolutely. He was killing it in that role at Central Coast Mariners a few years ago. They collided into each other, indeed. I didn't see that. I missed the second one. Did Caceres, this guy's holding his face. Now currently receiving an ice pack to the face area. Casambre, number 15 for Kaya FC, who's receiving the treatment. Both players getting back to their feet now, which is good to see. So if you're just tuning in, pretty dramatic situation developing here in the Philippines. Kaya FC leading 1-0 over Sydney FC. Sky Blues, pretty strong favourites to get a result here on the road, but an early goal within 3 minutes. Sydney FC just falling asleep at the back. Didn't hit his head, just diving, says Silla in the chat. Great to see so many of you guys here in the live stream tonight. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. You can also consider sending through a super chat to support the channel. Can the Sky Blues find a way back into this contest? They've had a lot of the ball. They've been getting forward, but they haven't really had too many opportunities. Douglas Costa had a free kick that was close about 5 minutes ago. Love the multitasking Clyde playing Football Manager while watching this. So, Sky Blues. The ball had a lot of possession at the back here. Kaya FC, you can see the way that they're defending here with what appears to be sort of a 4-4-2 here. Definitely 4 players at the back there. Not a lot of space in the final third for the Sky Blues. Douglas Costa driving up the left now, slowing it down a bit. It helps to go backwards. Again, we're seeing this a bit from Sydney FC. As you can see here from the graphic, we listed Costa on the right, Lolly on the left. Looks like those two guys have sort of swapped over. That was the setup that they played in match day 1, where Costa did start on the right and Lolly was on the left. It looks like Ufuk Tale's changing it up a little bit, experimenting to see how Costa goes on the left wing. It's tricky too because both players love cutting in on their left foot. Would love to play on that right-hand side, I reckon. Joe Lolly surely has to lock that role down. He was so good in that position for Sydney last year, playing off that right-hand side. So it's his iconic move, Joe Lolly, to cut in on that left foot and score a screamer. G'day, Troy. Good to see you here. It says, sad about our game on Tuesday, but we knew it'll be hard with that red card. Great to see Moragas score. Yes, I mean, the Moragas goal was fantastic and the only highlight, unfortunately, from the game on Tuesday. But as you say there, hard with that red card indeed. That sort of made things difficult for us. Wait, did Sydney just score? Did Sydney just score, dude? Oh, dude, I totally missed that. Sydney just scored. All of a sudden, I saw the Sydney players just casually walking back, and I'm like, what happened? Oh, what a goal, too. Well, the Sky Blues, they do have their response out of nowhere, too. I missed it. We all missed it. Leo Senna was on the ball. Great pass into the feet of Joe Lolly, who fires it into the roof of the net. Kaya FC unable to deal with it, and Sky Blues back on track. Back on track. Wow. Apologies for that. It's pronounced killer. Thank you for letting me know. I was at the grand final last year. Or last season. Well, I wasn't both, to be fair. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Killer. Appreciate that. As Troy says here, that was a fast, casual goal. I missed it too. Yeah, I looked up, and the Sydney FC players were just walking back no emotions. So that's why I didn't think anything happened. But they were all walking together as a group, and there was a couple high fives going on around. I was like, what? And I look away for a second. And all of a sudden, there's a goal. So Joe Lolly, 26th minute, has scored here. Sydney FC back in it. Important for the Sky Blues to reply in this first half. Their expectation from this game is to win. We'll also be playing our Griddle at halftime as well, testing the A-League knowledge. Griddle's turned into our halftime entertainment. So make sure to stay tuned at halftime. In about 20 minutes' time, we'll be playing Griddle. The giveaway from Kaya FC. That's right, Tarnley. I mean, the way it sort of bounced around in the box there, they didn't do well dealing with it at the back. Great little pass, though, from Leo Senna. I mean, the way he drove it into the box, incisive pass from the Brazilian midfielder. Clyde asks, do you think Aaron Kunda will develop at Bayern? I think so, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not involved with the first team right now by the looks of things. He's not, featuring for the first team, but he's getting minutes with the reserve side and scoring goals by the looks of things. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Kieran Kunda is just going to continue getting better and better, surely. Troy says, I got 9 out of 9 in Griddle. Thought it was easy, but no spoilers. Good luck. Thank you, Troy. 9 out of 9. All right. It's been a while since we've got a 9 out of 9. So hopefully tonight is the night. We usually we play Griddle pretty much in every stream we do now. It's especially during halftime of our watch-alongs. Another Kaya FC player down here injured after colliding with Ryan Grant. Bit of a high boot from Ryan Grant, but nothing too sinister in it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is indeed. As Justin says here, I heard he's been listed in the UCL team. That's right. Kunda is a part of, or at least listed in Bayern Munich's Champions League squad. So we could potentially see Nesteri make a UEFA Champions League appearance. G'day, Fab in the chat. Fab says that's coming from Western Sydney Wanderers fan, but I reckon this is the best A-League squad for the upcoming season. Solid foundation, quality foreigners with flair. Talking about West Sydney Wanderers, I assume they're Fab. Oh, sorry, Fab, just saw your second comment here. By the squad, I meant Sydney FC squad. Yeah. I mean, the squad that they have here is very, very good. And as you say, like a good quality foreigners with flair, that's right. And great young players too. I mean, they've got a few of them playing tonight, and Hayden Matthews and Corey Holman, two talented youngsters. I think they're going to be really strong this year, Sydney FC. Very, very strong. Anas Waheem not starting tonight. He is on the bench, but he was very good in their first game. He's already scored a few goals for Sydney in his first couple of appearances. Azani, do you think Azani will see the beginning of his 20th downfall with Casanova at their head? I think Azani will be all right. I hope that situation at Melbourne Victory will be resolved and Azani will be involved for Melbourne Victory going forward. For those that don't know, I put a video out a couple of days ago going over the Azani situation at Melbourne Victory, why he missed out in the Australia Cup final. Ooh, potential penalty. No. Ooh, and a bit of a goalkeeper had something to say to Patrick Klimala there. So Klimala went down. The goalkeeper came out for it. It didn't look like a penalty. And the referee says no penalty too. Now, I wonder whether the referee would consider booking Klimala here for simulation. The replay will be telling. But Klimala was sprinting in. I think Klimala should be booked there. There's no contact at all. Klimala has gone rolling off the field. I don't think there was a yellow card brandished there, but we do not want to see that kind of thing. That was a pretty blatant dive there, unfortunately, from Patrick Klimala. Fortnite asks, do you think Melbourne City are in trouble this season, Lockie? I think I don't want to go as far as to say that they'll be in trouble, because I think if look, they still have good players. They still have a great goalkeeper in Jamie Young. They still have Matt Leckie, Andrew Boot, Mike Attilio. I mean, the question is if those guys can stay fit. That's another question altogether. A few new foreign players. Curious to see how they go in defence and in midfield as well. So I don't think they're in trouble this season. I'd be surprised if they drop to the bottom four. But my expectation is that they will be sort of mid-table again. I don't think they'll crack top four. That's sort of how I feel about Melbourne City at the moment. They won't be bottom four, but they won't. I don't see them cracking top four. I think Melbourne Victory will still get above them this season. Yeah, but it's a matter of whether those new guys, the new foreign players, we'll see how they go. I mean, Tolga Arslan was fantastic for them last season. It's interesting as well for City. Like Arslan was so good for them last season. I think he scored like 13 goals from midfield. It's unfortunate that he left the league. Despite him having an incredible season and basically almost winning the Johnny Warren medal last year, Melbourne City still only managed to finish 6th, only just sneaking into finals last season, hey? Clyde asks, do you think an Aussie team will win the AFC this year? Well, in terms, obviously we've got two Aussie teams. in Champions League competitions. And if anyone's more likely to win it, it's definitely Sydney FC. As, of course, we saw Douglas Mariners lift this trophy last season. Last year's season, of course, it was known as the AFC Cup. So I think Sky Blues seriously are a chance to win the Asian Champions League 2 this year. Look at the depth they have and the quality they have. I think they're capable of having a real deep run in this tournament. In terms of Central Coast Mariners, I mean, we haven't made a great start to the Champions League Elite, and it's going to be a huge ask for Mariners to go all the way, at least to the final. So I think if Mariners can get to the first round of knockouts, that would be pretty good considering the teams we've got, in our conference, in our group. The quality is so high in the Champions League Elite, that's for sure. Is this Sydney's best team? As in right now, or of all time? In terms of for this lineup tonight, I think the full strength team would be with Anas Waheem in the side. He's on the bench. We don't know whether that's due to an injury or anything. Maybe tactically a tactic decision for Tale. So I think if Anas Waheem was in, but if you're asking if this is Sydney's best team of all time, I mean, it could be. It could be. Obviously, it's hard to say. It's early on. Sydney have had some incredible teams over the last 2 decades in the A-League. Many people, I'm sure, would look to the mid to late 2010s. Sky Blues had some fantastic seasons there. Fortnite says Burgess should have left. He clearly won't be used much this season. Yeah. Maybe. He's definitely rarely going to get starts this season, I think. I mean, the guy's favourite position is probably playing as a number 10, and he's basically the third choice number 10 now, behind both Waheem and Caceres. But I guess he's sort of the next choice, at least in a wide role, which he still does all right in Max Burgess. So yeah, it's an interesting one for Burgess as well. I thought maybe Sydney might want to move him on anyway, just because Max Burgess is a little bit older, and they've got some really good young players coming through who can play in these attacking positions, like a Manatides who's on the bench tonight, Marin France. Kaczarski can obviously play in the attacking roles too. So it's a fair point you make there, Fortnite, about Burgess. How much game time will Max Burgess get this season? If you've been watching the channel since its inception, you'll know that I am a big fan of Max Burgess. I think he's a really underrated player, and he's technically very gifted, I think. Do you think Yangi's brother will get caps for Australia? Tete Yangi, we'll see. Maybe in the future. I'm not watching Tete Yangi's career all that closely right now, to be honest. Troy asks, what do we need to finish? What do we need to finish in our group to progress? The Champions League is very hard. Still blows my mind that West Sydney Wanderers won it. Great moment, even if they are one of our rivals. Yeah, obviously a huge achievement for Australian football when Wanderers won the Asian Champions League. What do we need to finish in our group to progress? Well, we got to try and start winning just our couple home games. We'll come back to that because Kaya FC are away on the counter-attack here. Flag is down, cross into the box. Sydney FC do well to get back there. A little moment of panic there at the back for the Sky Blues. I think if we just got to win sort of the next 3 home games, but I mean that's going to be tough as well. Every opponent that we have is difficult. But I was going to say, I think the Buriram United game on Tuesday was the one that I think we needed to win. There's so many tricky matches coming up, so yeah, it's going to be difficult. Fab chiming in on the Burgess discussion there. Says Burgess could play as a false 9, in my opinion. Yeah, he could definitely flourish in that kind of role. Intellectual asks, what's the new name? Thoughts on it for Gosford Stadium? Yeah, I saw something that they're getting a new name. We'll see. I mean, I don't mind Central Coast Stadium. It's simple. Simple. Clyde, ooh, big question. Do you think Australia will make it to the knockouts in the World Cup? Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, we're going to be optimistic. I've got to say yes. Look, obviously, we have to put together some good performances over the next couple of years through qualifying and hopefully get there first. But yeah, I think after what happened in 2022, and you look at the young, talented players we have, there is a team that's capable of getting through to the knockouts once again in the World Cup. Yes, Daniel, we'd love to have we need prime Daniel McBreen back to be banging in the goals for Mariners. As Douglas Costa whips in across, they're away. Sky Blues looking to take the lead, but whistle's blown. Clyde asks, who do you think has the best squad for the A-League? Best squad. For me, there's two choices. It is either Sydney FC or Melbourne Victory. I think Melbourne Victory's squad depth is probably a little bit better than Sydney FC. You look at the bench players they have, and there's so much experience there for Victory. Sydney FC are up there as well, though. I feel like they're pretty clear ahead. I'm saying that now, like, just obviously, with the A-League season yet to kick off. If I just had to tell you right now, just on paper, I'm looking at Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC and their squads, and they're strong, man. They're strong. Like, who else would come close? I mean, Wanderers look all right this season. I think Melbourne City, we were talking about them a bit earlier. I think they'll be okay. I think Auckland have built a pretty good team as well. Hiroki Sakai, that's a huge signing. Japanese international. I think Wellington still have a decent team, man. I do think, like, I'm not going to be, I didn't want to be biased and say Mariners. I do think Mariners, you look at that team and there's still a really solid spine there. You look at that Mariners defense, the centre back pairing of Sainsbury and Caltech has the potential to be the strongest centre back pairing in the competition. Hey, so yeah, it's an interesting one. Killer says, what stage would you consider Sydney Coast Mariners and Sydney FC to reach in order to either disappoint or impress in Asia this season? As in, like, what's the aim for them? I think for Sydney FC, I think they have to go pretty deep. I think they have to be getting to at least the. I'm trying to remember because it's really complicated when it gets to the knockout stage in the Asian Champions League too. And I don't think they've changed around the format, but it's like the interzonal finals, which is essentially like the final four, or at least like the final eight. They have to progress from the group, Sydney FC. If they don't do that, it's a disaster. So they have to go pretty deep into the knockouts, that's for sure. If they don't make it to the final itself, it's not a disappointment. They got to try and get pretty deep. In terms for Mariners, I think if we can get out of the group, that'll be good. I mean, the opponents that Mariners are coming up against in the Asian Champions League Elite are of the highest quality. So yeah, it's gonna be tricky. So good to see so many questions and comments coming in. Apologies if I'm a bit slow getting to them. Justin says Buriram squad wage is probably close to triple that of Mariners. They're a bit of a rising star in Thailand. Didn't know that. Cool. Clyde asks, do you think Aaron Conner will play a big part of our World Cup campaign in the 26 World Cup? Absolutely. I think Nestor Irankunda, it's fair to say, he is the star player for our World Cup in 2026 if we get there. I think we have to, prime Nestor Irankunda to be unleashed at that World Cup. Fantastic player with so much potential. Fortnite says Adelaide are facing Brisbane Roar in a friendly this weekend, Lucky. I think it's a good opportunity to see where both teams are at, as they are similar. Yeah, sort of the quality of the squads they've got there. A lot of young players at both teams. That'll be interesting. They're playing that one in Mildura, aren't they? Mildura. So that piece for Sydney's flicked in. And the header is flicked on. Now for a corner. As we're just a couple of minutes away here from the end of the half. Fab says, I don't rate our squad, Western Sydney Wanderers. Too many average players, not enough leadership and flair. Also like technical players in that team. Reckons the squad's extremely overrated. Sydney's corner here. This is everyone. But the shot comes in from Lolly. Straight to the hands of the keeper. Clyde, well, that's the question, isn't it? Do you think we can stop Matoma and Kubo on the 10th? It'll be difficult. Yeah, I mean, so the Socceroos 2 games coming up next week. This time next week, we're going to be doing a watch-along for both games, in fact. Taking on China at home in Adelaide. Has to be must-win. It's just a must-win game for the Socceroos with where we're at right now. The Japan game, if we can get a draw, that's a positive result. If we can get a draw, it's a positive result. Japan are incredible. Japan are fantastic, and it's going to be so hard to outclass them, especially considering that the game is in Japan too. Tarnley asks, who's the best performing marquee player ever in the A-League history? Good question. The best performing one. I mean, you could probably say Del Piero. He was very good. Probably Del Piero. Diamante was good too. Diamante was good. We got 2 minutes added on here. 2 minutes added on at the end of this half. 1-1 between Kaya FC and Sydney FC. We're going to be playing Griddle in just a minute. Testing the A-League knowledge in a matter of minutes. So stick around for that. Troy says Del Piero as well. Yeah. In terms of like marquee, like big marquee signings, I think Del Piero was, yeah. Diego Castro was fantastic. Diego Castro, I mean, he was Perth Glory's star player for a number of years there. Jared also says, yeah, Del Piero was a beast. Taylor says, is Waheem Sydney FC's Ozil, like Mesut Ozil? I guess so. Yeah, he sort of plays that role as Kaya FC are in again here. Kept it in play. The whistle's been blown for a goal kick. A bit like Mesut Ozil. That's a playmaker for Sydney FC. Clyde says, I think Nkondo and Yengi will be an incredibly dangerous duo in the 26 World Cup. Yeah, those two guys could be our starters. Yeah, those two guys could be our starters, that's for sure. Killer says, personally, I feel we, Melbourne Victory, will not be as good as our squad is on paper. The lack of attacking creativity PK seems to be wanting is worrying. As worrying as it leads to games going either way, like MacArthur and Adelaide. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll do all right this season, Melbourne Victory. I think they will. But it's a fair point you make there. I mean, Melbourne Victory, they absolutely destroyed the NPL teams that they came up against in the Australia Cup. But it's a fair point, like coming up against both Adelaide and MacArthur, they struggled. Struggled a little bit. Well, I mean, against MacArthur, they did create a lot of chances. They were the better team, I think, in the end. But Adelaide, they did struggle. But I think they'll be okay this season, Victory. Yanko was also good. Remember that guy? Yeah, Mark Yanko, Austrian striker for Sydney FC a few years back. Half-time here in the Asian Champions League 2. Kaya FC 1. Sydney FC 1. Interesting half. Interesting half because Sydney FC, if you're just tuning in, if you didn't catch the start of the match, then you probably missed the first goal. Kaya FC took the lead just after 3 minutes of football. 3 minutes of football, Kaya FC took the lead. Sydney FC just falling asleep at the back. And then Sydney FC finally equalised about midway through that first half. Joe Lolly with the strike. So a bit of improvement needed, I think, for the Sky Blues, but it's time to play Griddle. Time to play Griddle, everyone. This is made by Ultimate A-League. It's called Griddle Game. You can play it at griddlegame.com. And this has become like a regular in our halftime entertainment, in our halftime segments of our watch-alongs. We test the A-League knowledge here. And for the regulars who've been tuning in to our recent streams, you'll know that we've struggled a little bit in recent times. But some of you have said, Troy said a bit earlier that he got 9 out of 9. I said it was a bit easy. So let's see how we go today. We've got Wellington Phoenix. We've got Brizzy Raw. We've got Newcastle Jets. We're looking for players who played over 10 finals games. It's a lot of finals games. Over 50 wins. And players born in the 1970s. That's interesting. So, now where do we start? I always try to start with the hardest one. Born in the 1970s and played 10-plus finals games. 1970s. So we're going to think of maybe some early players from early seasons who would have played a bunch of finals games. When was Archie Thompson born? I don't know why he was the first one that came to my brain. When was Archie Thompson born? I don't know if Archie wouldn't be that old. No, probably not. Probably not 1970s. I don't think Archie's that old. Let's start somewhere else. Let's go 50-plus wins for Wellington Phoenix. And there we will go Andrew Durante. 92 wins. 50-plus wins. 10 final wins. There's got to be a bunch of players we can go for there. We'll go Broxham. 20 finals games. That's a lot. 50-plus wins for Newcastle Jets. Let's go Matt Thompson. Probably has at least 50 wins. Oh, dang it. 45, dude. It's always so close to me too. Matt Thompson. He was the captain of the Jets early on. We were 5 wins off. I'm curious to see who would be there. Not many people are coming to mind when it comes to 50-plus wins for Newcastle. Brisbane Roar, 10 finals games. That should be easy. Matt Mackay, he's a favorite of Griddle. Okay, I'm avoiding this middle column, the born in the 1970s. So let's just start with the Wellington Phoenix one. Wellington Phoenix player who was born in the 1970s. Didn't Ross Aloisi probably was born in the 1970s, and didn't he play for them? There we go. All right. Born in the 1970s and played for Newcastle Jets. Just got to think of some throwback Newcastle Jets players. Ned Zelich. Perhaps. Hey, all right. Okay. All right. We're aiming for 8 out of 9 here. Griddle tonight. This is our live Griddle performance. 10-plus finals games. Born in the 1970s. I mean, Del Piero, I don't know if he played 10 finals games. He was probably born in the 1970s, Del Piero. 10 finals games, though. Maybe let's just go like a goalkeeper, right? Like a goalkeeper from back in the day. Let's go. I was going to say Eugene Galakovic, but Galakovic, I've got a feeling he might be born in the 1980s. I don't think he's that old. Dang it. Can someone... Apologies to Eugene Galakovic for thinking that maybe he was older than he was. Can someone Google how old the birth year of Eugene Galakovic? And I tell you what, if it's 1980, I'm going to scream. Newcastle Jets, Brisbane Roar. Give me Petrados. Wellington Phoenix and Brisbane Roar. Luke DeVere. Dang it, dude. 7 out of 9. We'll take it. G'day to Mari's in the chat here tonight. Will Sydney be able to win? They should come back strong in the second half. They should indeed. 1981. Tanley, thank you very much for looking that up. Oh my gosh, dude. Who did we miss? Oh, there wasn't many. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. It makes me feel a bit better. There wasn't many. So A-League players who've played at least 10 finals games and born in the 1970s. John Hutchinson, well. Didn't think Hutcho was that old. Wow. John Hutchinson. Archie Thompson was there. Okay. Archie Thompson was the one that I first thought of. So he was born in the 1970s. And Galakovic, apparently, according to Tanley, born in 1981. There we go. Blinkus, wow, good thing I didn't go for Del Piero. It says Del Piero only played 1 finals game for Sydney FC. There you go. Should have gone for Hutcho. That's right, Blinkus. G'day, Gaming Bang. Good to see you here. Justin a bit earlier on was suggesting Smelts. Yeah, Shane Smelts. A bit earlier on, Fab, as we're talking about Melbourne victory earlier on, Fab says, I don't feel Melbourne victory struggled against Macarthur SC. No, I do agree. Yeah, I was wrong to say that. They certainly were the better team. They dominated that game. Also, PK is only a few months into the job. Why are we so quick to judge him? That's right. Of course. He's implementing his system, and I think they'll be strong this season. So, second half coming up between Sydney FC and Kaya FC is 1-1. It's 1-1. And in a moment, we'll have a look at the stats so far. Here's another quick glance at the Sydney FC lineup that they're running for tonight. Costa has been playing a lot on that left-hand side, but has also been drifting in quite a bit as well. So we'll see whether they swap sides, those two wingers at all. Joe Lolly's been sticking on the right mostly tonight as well. Let's have a look at the stats so far in this game. As you can see here, the 3rd minute, Daiso scoring. Horikoshi scoring for Kaya FC after just 3 minutes. Incredible start. We were stunned. And then 26th minute, Joe Lolly grabbed the equaliser. So as we can see here, Sydney FC 8 shots, just the 2 on target. Kaya FC with just the 2 shots. As you can see here, Sydney FC also dominating possession, 73%. 73%. Have committed 9 fouls already, the Sky Blues. So they have to try and find a way to create some more opportunities and hit the target too, because only 2 shots on target, one of those being the goal. Douglas Costa did come pretty close from a corner, from a free kick. Troy, in regards to the griddle, said, I had Thompson and Hoffman for the ones you didn't get, but played it safe. Yeah, Jason Hoffman, that definitely should have gone for him. Definitely should have gone for him. G'day, Spencer. Good to see you here, mate. Hope you're doing well. Troy says, can't wait for the A-League to start. Not long to go. Now such a long off season. That's right. It's one of the longest off seasons in world football, isn't it? And it's going to be great to have it back in just almost 2 weeks now. Almost 2 weeks now. Dude, we are counting down the days. The first game of the season is October 19 October 18. Central Coast Mariners hosting Melbourne Victory. We won't be doing a live watch along because I'll be at the game. But I can tell you right now, folks, we will be doing a live watch along for the Sydney Derby round 1. It's going to be one of the most highly anticipated games this season because it's potentially going to feature 2 of the biggest players to star in the A-League, Douglas Costa and Juan Mata, potentially going to make the A-League debuts in just a couple weeks' time in a Sydney derby, and we'll definitely be live for that one. Huge first weekend coming up in the A-League as well, because, I mean, we'll pull it up actually in just a second here. Huge first weekend coming up because we've got some gigantic matchups. There's so many storylines within the first round or 2 alone. Of course, as we know, there are going to be buys in the A-League this season due to the fact that, of course, we've got 13 teams. We've got an odd number of teams. Here's a look at the A-League fixtures. Second half is going to get underway very shortly in this Sydney FC game. But here's round 1 for the A-League. Central Coast Mariners hosting Melbourne Victory for a rematch of last season's grand final. Auckland FC, their first ever competitive fixture. They will be hosting Brisbane Roar. These kickoff times here are Australian Eastern Standard Time for anyone in other states. Newcastle Jets hosting Melbourne City. That'll be an interesting one. Western Sydney Wanderers will play host to Sydney FC in the first Sydney derby of the new season, and we will be doing a live watch along for that prime time game. Wellington Phoenix take on Western United. Very curious to see how Western go this season. They need to bounce back after a poor campaign last time around. And then the final fixture for round 1 sees Macarthur FC play Perth Glory. So David Zurilich, a real test there for his first A-League match at Glory, taking on the Australia Cup winners. Quick glance at round 2 as well. A couple consecutive home games for Bulls. Mariners travel to Adelaide for round 2. That's Adelaide's first game of the season. Comes in round 2. We've got a Melbourne derby in round 2 as well. Some big games early on. And then, well, are we still calling this the distance derby? Perth Glory take on Wellington Phoenix round 2 as well. Auckland FC. Auckland FC I think they've got like 4 home games in like the first few rounds. In the first 5 rounds, I think it is. And then Western United will host it Western Sydney Wanderers. Of course, Western United will play pretty much all their games at their new facility there, Ironbark Fields, which is great for them. So very excited about this first round of fixtures coming up. Very excited to see my Mariners in action in the A-League at home against Melbourne Victory to kick off the season on a Friday night. That Saturday's huge, dude. That Saturday is just monstrous for the first weekend of the A-League. We've got Auckland FC's first home game kicking off at 3 p.m. at Australian Eastern Standard Time. Newcastle Jets Melbourne City will be an interesting game because we've got Jets looking to, really bounce back this season and finally return to finals. And Melbourne City, there's question marks in terms of how they're going to go this season. And then the night rounds off with a Sydney derby. That's Saturday. Wow. Mouth-watering stuff, and it's just a couple weeks away. So let me know in the chat, actually, which game are you guys most looking forward to? I mean, the easy answer is probably Sydney derby, but let me know. Spencer says, here we go. Spencer's dropping some early predictions here for round 1. Victory beat Central Coast Mariners. Brisbane beat Auckland. Ooh, interesting. City beat Jets. Wanderers beat Sydney. Next beat Western. Perth beat Macarthur. There's some fascinating predictions there, Spencer. Fascinating predictions indeed. Gaming Bean is, of course, looking forward to the Sydney derby. Hope Auckland gets a decent crowd. Hopefully. Yeah, if we look at Auckland FC, actually, obviously it's just exciting having another team in the league, isn't it? It really is. Second half about to get underway here, but just before that, I want to have a quick glance here at Auckland FC's fixtures. So let's do that right now. Here's a look at Auckland FC in their first games. So hosting Brisbane Roar, hosting Sydney FC, and then away to Wellington. Now this game's taking place in Unite round 5, Unite round. That'd be round 4, or do they have a bye? Anyway, that's their 4th game of the season. And then back at home to take on Jets and then Wellington again. So they only leave New Zealand, once in the first, month or so. There you go. So I think that's good for your new team, give them plenty of time at home, build that home crowd. And very excited to see what the crowd looks like for Auckland FC. Hopefully they bring some really strong numbers for their first season. Yeah. Spencer says, I have family in Auckland. Unfortunately, unable to fly for round 1. Of course, for those that don't know, Spencer is a Brisbane Roar fan. Justin says, hopefully Caputo develops well. I like him for us. Yeah, big season for Max Caputo coming up. Hey, young striker who has to replace the boots of Jamie McLaren. So all the focus right now, though, tonight is on the Asian Champions League 2. This is the second match in the group stage for Sydney FC. They grabbed a big 5-0 win in their first match day against Eastern SC at home. And now we are underway in the second half, where it's 1-1 in the Philippines, a shock early goal for Kaya FC, who took the lead within 3 minutes. Joe Lolly grabbed the equaliser 26 minutes in. And now, Sky Blues, well, they do not want to drop points here against Kaya FC. Next up for Sydney FC, they've got a tricky match in a couple weeks' time, taking on Sanfrecce Hiroshima, who, if I'm not mistaken, are the top team in the J-League. I'm just double-checking right now. Someone can beat me to it, let me know. Sanfrecce Hiroshima are having a very good campaign at the moment in the J-League. Doesn't look like we've got any substitutions for Sydney FC for this second half. Let's have another look at this lineup that Sydney FC are deploying for this game. Jared says Hiroshima doing well. Yes, and I've just checked here. Sanfrecce Hiroshima are indeed top of the table. 1 point clear of Vissel Kobe. Top of the table. 17 wins for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. They've only lost 4 games out of 32. A goal difference is plus 31. So that is the test. That is going to be a tricky test. Tricky test indeed. For Ufotele's side, who take on Sanfrecce Hiroshima in just a couple weeks' time. Douglas Costa getting forward here, looking to feed Lolly. That's a great defensive challenge, though. Kaya FC desperate at the back. Justice for Langerak, says Spencer. Justice for Langerak. That's right. Yeah, I mean, we are missing Danny Vukovic. He was obviously so good for us over the last couple of years before he retired. And yeah, it's unfortunately not a great start for Adam Pavlicic at the Mariners in his first few games. Hopefully he just gets better from here. Hopefully. Ooh, I like this one, Spencer. Spencer says Mariners should sign Cameron Cook in goalkeeper. He's way too good to be behind Sale. I agree with you. Cameron Cook is probably one of the best backup keepers in the A-League. Fantastic. There's some pretty decent backup keepers in the A-League. Joe Lolly with a hit. Too much power on that one. Sailed high and wide. Cameron Cook is a good shot. He's a great shot, Spencer. He's a very good goalkeeper. So, the situation here in the second half is, can Sydney FC make the breakthrough? Because if they're unable to do so, if this game ends a draw, it's certainly going to be considered a slip-up here for Sydney FC. With the class that they have, the quality they have, they're certainly expected to get the result here tonight. They've got some good players on the bench. Max Burgess, Joel King, Anis Wahim, Adrian Segicic. Youngsters in Kacharski and Amanatides there as well. Just 7 players on the bench tonight for Sydney. Much less than the big extended bench that they had in match day 1. Good covering from Alex Popovic, making a starting debut tonight for Sydney FC, the young Aussie defender. Elizel says, I should have signed Barry Giddy for his experience. Mariners' current keepers are too young and inexperienced. Would love to have Barry Giddy back at the club for sure. But I guess we get a back Pavlicic at the moment, don't we? We get a back Pavlicic. Wachowski, when he came off the bench, Wachowski the other night, he actually made a couple good saves. And I think he should be given a chance. I think this is a chance here for Jack Wachowski to be given a run. So very curious to see who starts in goals for Mariners in a couple weeks' time against Melbourne Victory. Killer says Duncan will soon take Cook's mantle of best backup goalkeeper once Langerak comes. Who else is a decent backup keeper? Matt Acton's all right. Who else we got? Joe Lolly. Surely Klamala's offside here. He is indeed. Patrick Klamala still not finding the opportunities in front of goal that he would be hoping for. Polish striker. He's got an interesting career. Played in Poland and has also played over at in New York in the MLS and also had a stint at Celtic. Patrick Klamala. The new number 9 for Sydney FC this season. They do like to sign some. They do like to look abroad for their striker, Sydney FC, in recent years. Last year was Fabio Gomez. Previously, it's been Adam Lafondra and Bobo. And I mean, especially Lafondra and Bobo did very, very well for Sydney FC. Fabio Gomez was all right last season as well. Can Patrick Klamala continue the good run of strikers at Sydney FC? Elizel says, do you feel like the league this year is very balanced compared to previous years? There isn't a clear standout for teams this season. So it's an interesting question. I think so. I think overall this season is balanced. I feel like previous years have been pretty balanced. Maybe I feel like the last maybe couple seasons have been a bit more balanced, especially after Melbourne City's sort of dominance has sort of come to an end now. It feels like um, there was a period of time there. Like I remember a couple of years ago I did a video like asking other A League creators for like their ladder predictions and stuff like that. And we saw it online. Like everyone was tipping Melbourne City to like finish top. Like that was just the trend. It's a bit like Manchester City now in the Premier League. Like everyone is pretty much expecting them to finish top once again. And that was the situation for Melbourne City for a long period of time there, for like between maybe like 2019 and 2023. For a few years, the expectation was that Melbourne City were just going to cruise to the top again. So you're right there, Liesl. The two, again, I mentioned it earlier tonight, but the two that stand out for me is still Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory, like on paper. But we just never know what's going to happen. Like, I consider myself a pretty optimistic Mariners fan, and I had no expectation for Mariners to finish at the top of the table last season. So who knows? I'm hoping just for the sake of the league and just for our own entertainment, that one of these sort of underdog teams, these dark horses, really surprise. Could it be Brisbane under Ruben Zakovic? Could it be Perth Glory under David Zrilich? MacArthur SC, they've winners of the Australia Cup. Well, what's going on here? Kaya FC in behind. Oh my God, Leo Senna, what is he doing? What happened there for Leo Senna? He just his controller lost connection. And all of a sudden, Kaya FC just sprung away with the ball and almost scored a second. Andrew Redmayne. Well, great save from Redmayne in the end. Had to get down to his right pretty quickly. But Leo Senna, look at the way he just gave away the ball so easily and just stopped running. Why did Leo Senna just stop? That was really weird. Anyway, Sydney FC dodged one there. Spence says, will be Brisbane. Will be Brisbane. As Troy says here, the A-League always proves the hardest league to predict. And that's why we love it. It's so entertaining because there isn't that expectation that, a certain number of teams are going to succeed. We don't know. And it's equally tricky predicting who's going to finish at the top and as well as who's going to finish towards the bottom. Like my ladder prediction video will be coming out soon. And it's tricky. It is tricky because there's pretty much all the teams that finished towards the bottom last season, like the bottom six from last season. There's probably a case that you can make for all of them pushing into finals this year. Great run from Lolly. His pass was a bit wayward for Grant. Go out and play for a corner here for Sydney FC, who will look to make a couple of substitutions here as well. So yeah, always tricky to predict the A-League, as you say there, Troy. As Justin says here as well, that moment from Leo Senna says, weird from Senna, must have thought he got checked or something. Liesl says, I think people are underrating Perth Glory massively, as really the style is so different to the other managers. And I think their high intensity gegenpress style will get them a lot of upsets. Yeah, I think they could be a real dark horse this season. A couple of changes here for Sydney FC. Joel King is on and Anas Waheem is on. Fresh legs on to try and chase this win here for Sydney. We'll keep an eye on who came off there. The corner comes in for Sydney and it's cleared away. Popovich letting that one bounce. Kaya FC could be away down the left, and they are. Chance for the home team, who are springing away on the counter-attack. Cross comes in. Sydney FC have numbers at the back now. Joel King is on the field. Looks like he might have replaced Hayden Matthews, perhaps, back. That's a big question, Clyde. Do you think football will ever be the biggest sport in Australia? I'd like to believe so. When will that happen? It's impossible to say. It could be decades and decades in the future. But all I will say is that football produces some scenes in Australia that we don't see from any other sport. When you think of the scenes at the Women's World Cup with the Matildas last year when the whole country was tuning in. Or we think of the scenes when the Socceroos were featuring at the Men's World Cup at the end of 2022. And those, scenes at Federation Square in Melbourne. The football has the biggest potential. It is the world game. And that's why, dude, that's why we're here on this channel. That's why we're doing these live watch-alongs every week or so, just helping to grow the game. Every little bit counts, right? Zach reckons in the next 50 years. And look, and that's the thing too, right? I think it's worth remembering. Like a lot of people, which is fair enough, like compare the A-League to the other codes in Australia. The A-League is still a growing league. These teams are growing. Obviously, the AFL, the NRL, some of these clubs have been around for, over a century, right? So that's, yeah. Another chance a moment ago there from Sydney FC, who are looking for this winning goal to put them in front. Can they do it? Do you think when football becomes the biggest sport in Australia, the entire team will improve? And do you think our team will become much more athletic? I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. I still think, I'd hope so. Yeah. That's a tricky one, Clyde. That's a tricky one to answer. But I hope so. That's all I'll say, I guess. We are slowly approaching the hour mark here. And the Sky Blues looking for this winning goal. Hayden Matthews is still on the pitch, so it is Alex Popovich who did come from the field. Playing almost an hour for Sydney FC, and Klamala has scored. They get the goal. 2-1. Patrick Klamala, the Polish striker, finishing off a delightful cross from Douglas Costa. And the Sky Blues do indeed have that lead. Great delivery, dude. Douglas Costa. It was Douglas Costa, wasn't it? It was indeed. What a cross. And the flicked header from Klamala. The goalkeeper was there, but couldn't keep it out. Wow. There we go indeed. And it is Douglas Costa, the Brazilian, with the delightful cross to set up that one. Great assist from Costa. And Patrick Klamala opens his Sydney FC account here. 58th minute. Sky Blues are in front, and it looks like they're going for more here. You can see the way they're pressing with intensity. G'day, Boston. Good to see you here, mate. Sky Blues in front with half an hour to go. And Kaya FC, well, they haven't had many chances, but when they have got forward on the counter-attack, they have looked dangerous. It's still a narrow lead here. The Sky Blues will certainly be looking to add to this. They will not sit back at all here. Do you think Australia needs to invest more in the national team? Yeah, absolutely, of course. That's the tricky thing for football in Australia. Hey, there's just don't have the money, don't have the funds, right? I think we all know that. Hey, I did see that, Zach. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, shot coming in from Kaya FC. Redmayne's behind it though. Yeah, I told you, Kaya FC, when they're getting forward, they are catching Sydney FC out a little bit. Great to see. That's right, Zach, from Adelaide United, that safe standing there for the active bays of Cooper's Stadium. Thank you very much for that, Boston. Appreciate that, mate. Always good to see you tuning in. Great to see a bunch of you guys tuning in for tonight's live watch along. This is we've done 2 out of 2 watch alongs for Sydney FC's Asian Champions League 2 games so far. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Support the channel and the stream. You can also consider sending through a super chat. We've got plenty of videos coming out in the next couple of weeks as the A-League season is drawing closer, just 2 weeks away. We're going to be doing our A-League ladder prediction in the coming days. It's going to be a big one. And we will be live this time next week as well. Next week. It's a sort of a nice little, I don't want to say like a curtain raiser, because it is a big deal. It's the Socceroos obviously in action next week and the following week. 2 games coming up for the Roos. At home to China and away to Japan. We will be doing live watch-alongs for those games as well. But more immediately, we will be live tomorrow, midday, for the live reaction and analysis of the Socceroos squad announcement. Tony Popovich is set to announce his Australia squad tomorrow, and we'll be live right here on the channel from midday to react to the squad. We've already seen earlier tonight some news breaking online regarding a few players who will be included. So very excited to see the full squad tomorrow, and we'd love to get your thoughts on the squad as well in that live stream tomorrow midday. Sydney FC in behind down the left. Chipped in the cross. Grant has to recover it. Ryan Grant wearing the captain's armband for Sydney this season. Well deserved too. He's obviously a sky blue legend. I think it was either going to be him or Andrew Redmayne to wear the armband. It was Luke Bratton, who was the captain at Sydney FC last season. He's joined rivals Macarthur SC and already doing very well at the Bulls. Won a trophy there, the Australia Cup last weekend. Does Sydney score again? Great goal. Was it Klamala again? It's 3-1. Patrick Klamala flying in. Another delightful cross. And there we go, Sydney FC. Well, it's finally clicking for them. Great play down the right centre. Grant. Great passing play. And Anas Waheem fires the cross in. And Klamala makes it 3-1. It's a nice one indeed, Justin. Great play too. I mean, that replay, as you can see there, I mean, centre to Grant to Waheem. It's one-touch football from Sydney FC. That's what they were showing us in match day 1, and now it's finally working for them here. Took an hour to get going. Maybe the humidity in the Philippines played a factor. But now that Sydney FC have settled into this game, 3-1, and look like they're cruising to victory now. That looks like that may well seal it. It'll be difficult for Kaya FC to come back from here, surely. And Patrick Klamala, 2 goals in quick succession. Looking for a hat-trick tonight. Clyde asks, do you think Aaron Kunda will be the next Harry Kuehl? Ooh, that's a big one. Big one. Harry Kuehl, obviously one of Australia's all-time greats. He's got the potential. In terms of his potential, I think his potential is right up there. So if he fulfills his potential, he could get to that level, seriously. I seriously think so. And it might be a big statement, but in terms of potential, in terms of what Aaron Kunda could achieve, the guy's still, 18 years of age. He's already at one of the biggest clubs in the world in Bayern Munich. Sydney in again here. Ooh, play goes down the box. Still bouncing around. Clearance from Kaya FC. Sky Blues are pretty much in total control now, hey. You can see the way Kaya FC just really dropping back. Credit to Kaya FC, man, who led for the first 25 minutes of this game. An early goal, 3 minutes in. Stunned Sydney FC. Sky Blues were a little bit sleepy in that first half, but it's pretty much been all Sky Blue for this second period, hasn't it? Spencer says, I hope Nesteri is better than Kuehl. Do you think Aaron Kunda will stay at Bayern? I think he might go on loan in future seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. It might be a few years off, but before he's regularly involved in the first team. Hopefully that does happen soon enough. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't see any reason for him to leave Bayern Munich as long as he's happy there in Germany. Obviously, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Where else would you want to go, eh? John Lolly, a little bit soft on that pass. Sky Blues in another good position here to attack. 3-1 lead. The other two opponents in Sydney FC's group, Sanfrecce Hiroshima of Japan, Eastern SC of Hong Kong, those two teams play straight after this game. Straight after this game. Sky Blues currently top of the group with 6 points at this stage. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, if they can get a bid in against Eastern, they could potentially top the group. But this is another big result and performance here for Sydney FC. The performance maybe not quite up to the standard of match day one, but yeah, it's starting to come together for them now, isn't it? Elnif reckons could be 4-1 or 5-1 at this rate. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple more coming for Sydney FC. Eliesel says, in my opinion, Brad Tapp will be the next Mariners player to have a breakout season and sign for an overseas club. I like that prediction, Eliesel. He's very talented, Brad Tapp. He was one of the more underrated figures of the Mariners set up last season in that treble-winning campaign. Brad Tapp playing in a defensive midfield role alongside Max Ballard, absolutely fantastic. 23 years of age, still a lot of potential. And as you say there, I mean, he's already started all 3 games so far for Mariners this season, and I think will be integral for them this year. And yeah, if he has a good campaign, as has been the case for Mariners over recent years, he's going to attract interest from overseas. We saw Max Ballard and Josh Nisbet head overseas in the off-season, and Brad Tapp could be the next one. So I'm right with you there. Do you think Nkunda will become an Mbappe-type player? As in, like, the style of play, the way he plays? Potentially. I mean, that's the thing with Nkunda. I mean, like, at the moment, obviously, I still think his best position is playing on that right-hand side, the right wing. He scored so many fantastic goals from that right wing position. I think that's going to be the kind of play he is for now, flourishing in those wide areas. Just over 20 minutes to go. And the Sky Blues look like they are cruising to victory here. A couple of changes already for the Sky Blues tonight. Popovic coming off and Jolkin coming on. Decent outing for Alex Popovic. Didn't have too much to do, particularly in this game. Anas Wahim has already made an impact off the bench. He came on to replace Corey Holman. Anas Wahim with a delightful assist for that third goal for Sydney. Kaya FC. What can they do? If they can get a goal here, if they can just grab a sneaky goal, this should make the last 20 minutes quite tense for Sydney FC. They've got good position here on the left. Joe Lolly helping out defence. It's a wayward pass, though, from centre. Spencer says, I hope Robertson is called up tomorrow. Hopefully, he's a player with, again, another one of these like young guys with so much potential, and he's getting some decent game time at Cardiff, so hopefully. In regards to Nkunda, Clyde says, I think he is quite similar to Mbappe, just has to refine his finishing and dribbling. Also says, hopefully he can rotate between striker and right wing. Yeah, he obviously played sort of a striker role in that Indonesia game, and had a few moments, but I don't think it worked for him. I don't think it worked for Nkunda playing that role. I think playing him out wide is the way to go, where he can sort of get one-on-one with a fullback and take him on. That's where he really flourishes, I think. 20 minutes to go. Sydney 3, Kaya FC 1. Asian Champions League 2, this is match day 2. Sky Blues set to go 6 points. Rack up 6 points in the group stage already, which puts them in a great position already early on to get through to the knockouts. But the games against Sanfrecce Hiroshima coming up will be the real test for this Sydney FC side. Taking on the top team in Japan. How will they go? First of all, I have to defend this free kick from Kaya FC. The delivery is okay. It's a good defensive header by Klamala. Deep cross. Early strike. Kaya FC looking to grab one back. Sydney FC are really struggling to clear this here. Kaya proving a little bit difficult getting forward. Kowal, as in Garen Kowal. I think do I think he has as much potential as Iran Kunda? I think Iran Kunda probably does have more potential. I think Iran Kunda has shown us more already. Let's come back to that because Sydney are in behind here on the left. Klamala for his hat trick. Oh, off the post. So unlucky. Patrick Klamala so close to a hat trick. Still on for Sydney. Back for Waheem. Anas Waheem. Joe Lolly. Backheel doesn't quite work out for Sydney FC there, but great opportunity for a hat trick for Klamala. Off the post indeed. Justin. Zach says Stamatolopoulos is a good shout to be called up. Yeah, I mean, he's a good striker. He is. He is a good striker. And we saw that from Newcastle Jets last season. He was fantastic. He was unstoppable at times for Jets last season. Justin says Waheem has been good coming on. Very good indeed. Looking very lively. Yeah, I was surprised when they announced the lineups and he was on the bench. Wondering if maybe they're just, managing an injury or something. We don't know. But he's come on and had a great impact and assisted the third goal. Been very lively. Could be set for a big season in the A-League this year. Anas Waheem. Elise chiming in on the Garen Kowal situations. Garen Kowal is a clear example of an overhyped young Australia player who wasn't ready for European football. I still think he's got fantastic potential. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Garen Kowal does have a lot of great potential. I just think it just obviously hasn't worked out for him at the moment. His loan spell to the Netherlands last season didn't really work out. He didn't quite get game time. And I believe that he's out with an injury at the moment. So it's just not quite working out for him, is it, in that sense? So, but I still think Garen Kowal does have a great career ahead of him. So Sydney FC preparing another change here. Max Burgess ready to get onto the fields. And he will be replacing Leo Senna, which isn't too surprising. Leo Senna with a couple little mistakes here and there, just in the last 20 minutes or so. Burgess coming on. That's an interesting one, actually. We'll see whether Burgess does play in a defensive midfield role. Not necessarily his favourite position to play. We'll keep an eye on it. I would love to see Nectar Triantis, man, feature for the Socceroos. I think it's probably a matter of time. He's at Hibs again this season and doing pretty well for them so far. Final 15 minutes for the Sky Blues here, who will look to just cruise through to victory. Don't need to do anything too risky here for the final stages of this game. We're going to be live tomorrow for a midday Socceroos squad announcement. Full reaction and analysis of that squad reveal. Make sure to join us in the live chat for that one. That's Waheem again. Really nicely involved. A through ball for Klamala. Almost. Good goalkeeping in the end. And it's Waheem, though, again. The instigator. Great run. The give and go with Lolly. The pass came through from Klamala. A couple offside calls on Klamala. It's happened a few times this game, and I remember I think it happened a few times in the first game as well. Maybe something he just has to keep an eye on. So, Kaya FC, they lost in match day 1. Bit of desperation now in the final 14 minutes or so to chase this game and try and get back into it. They're playing with a bit more intensity now. You can see the way they're pressing, not really dropping back as much as they were earlier in the game. Sydney FC just have to be wary of this for the final stages. Make sure they don't get caught out like they did 3 minutes into this game. Spencer's dropping in his Socceroos squad. Interesting. Bovalina. Would love to see Bovalina in there as well. Cross in for Kaya FC. Great area. And it's out for a corner. Robertson, yeah. Daggers. Nick D'Agostino. I mean, that'd be interesting to see Nick D'Agostino back. I don't think he's been playing too much, unfortunately, lately. I think he's been struggling with some injuries. Yeah. Aiden Hrustic will be an interesting one, actually. Fascinated to see whether he returns. Yeah. Is Matty Ryan injured? I don't believe so, Zach. I don't believe so. Matt Ryan, unfortunately, has been just sitting on the bench for Roma so far this season. Hasn't featured yet. In a competitive fixture, at least. Which is a shame. We want our, obviously our top players playing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's good. What has just happened? Oh, my gosh. Kaya FC have almost scored. A tremendous long-range shot from like 30 metres out. Redmayne makes the save. Couldn't hold on to it. And I thought they were going to capitalise from the rebound. Dude, I thought that went in the back of the net for a second, and Redmayne is going to receive some treatment here. What a shot indeed, Zach. I mean, that was incredible. The chest control. Look at the way he caught that. Redmayne with a diving save, and then the rebound. That's a really, really lucky save there from Redmayne. Just got his leg to it. I mean, Kaya should have scored there for sure. It should have been 3-2 there for sure. Hey, yeah. Luke J, glad the algorithm recently put your channel in my feed. Well, thanks for jumping in the live stream, Luke. I'm glad you found the channel. Hope you enjoy the content. Appreciate you jumping in the chat here to say good day. Not long left to go in this game. Sydney FC leading Kaya FC 3-1. 79 minutes played. Andrew Redmayne just receiving a bit of treatment here. Redmayne did miss out on match day 1. That was due to concussion. He's all good for this game. Just getting a hamstring checked out at the moment by the looks of things. Kaya FC, can they make a dramatic comeback in this last 10 minutes? They almost scored there at the end. They almost managed to pull one back. Quite incredible 3 minutes in the way they took the lead, and Sydney FC were on the back foot there early on. The Sky Blues from then have dominated possession, created more opportunities. Kaya FC, I'm going to appreciate the attitude that they've approached this game with. They've been attacking with pace when they've had the opportunity to do so. Matthews under pressure. Well done there. Great high press from Kaya FC. John P says Redmayne is making up for his 3rd minute howler. That's right. Yeah, it was a bizarre one. I mean, I guess you could say both Redmayne and Ryan Grant were at sort of at fault for that goal that Sydney conceded. I don't know where Ryan Grant was for his marking, leaving a pretty vacant area on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Luke asks, will you be running commentary when the A-League starts up? Yeah, definitely. Going to be doing plenty of live watch-alongs for the A-League. I can tell you right now, we'll be doing a live watch-along for the Sydney Derby round 1 in just a couple weeks' time. So, yeah. Definitely keep an eye, especially on some of the big Saturday night games. Keep an eye on some live watch-alongs for those prominent Saturday night games. We've got some big Saturday night games early on in the season too. Sydney Derby round 1, Melbourne Derby round 2. Round 3, the first of a New Zealand rivalry game as well. Appreciate that, Luke. Thanks, mate. Clyde asks, do you think all our Wonder Kids will develop enough to be starting in the 2026 World Cup? I don't know about all of them. I mean, there's plenty, that we could name there, but yeah, Hopefully, the likes of Aaron Kunda, Robertson, Boss, these guys, um, are fit and firing for that World Cup. That's right, Zach. We need to make sure we're qualifying first. Another offside flag on Klamalo. I literally mentioned it just a couple minutes ago. I'd love to see the stats here. How many offsides have Sydney had? Patrick Klamala feels like he's really racking up these offside calls. That's at least 3 or 4 today. Seems to be a pretty common theme. Just gotta work on timing those runs. Sydney FC doing well to get in behind. Sydney FC looking to seal it with one more goal here. Joe Lolly scoring tonight. And then Patrick Klamala with 2 goals. Douglas Costa with a fantastic assist. Worth mentioning as well, Douglas Costa is still on the field after 83 minutes, which is great to see. And Sydney FC will make their final 2 substitutions right now. 2 youngsters coming on. Adrian Segicic, great to see him returning for Sydney FC. And Nathan Amanatides will come on as well. Hayden Matthews coming from the field, which is interesting. We'll keep an eye who will drop back in defence for the Sky Blues. Douglas Costa coming from the field. A really solid 83 minutes for the Brazilian winger. Delightful assist for the second goal. Young Nathan Amanatides is on, as well as Segicic. So it's a centre-back pairing of Courtney Perkins and Joel King for Sydney. And incredibly, I don't think I've ever seen Max Burgess play at left back. We were talking about that a bit earlier, about Max Burgess and what's his best position, what role does he have to play for Sydney FC. Maybe it's a backup left back. Who knows? Here comes Max Burgess from left back. And I swear he measured the box. For Amanatides for his first touch of the ball. Great block. Thanks for that, Zach. 5 offsides for Sydney. I wouldn't be surprised if all of them were Klamala. Thanks, Boston. You too, mate. Thanks for jumping in the live chat. What happened to Volpato? Great question. I mean, who knows what's happening with Christian Volpato? I mean, from my perspective, he clearly doesn't want to play for Australia. And that's what it seems like. That's what it looks like. Bit of a coming together here. Caceres not happy with something from an opposition player. Anthony Caceres. Referee just trying to calm things down here. No need to get things too heated here. Don't know if you guys saw some of the scenes in one of the Asian Champions League elite games a couple nights ago. It was Shandong Taishan, who played Mariners just a few weeks ago. Shandong Taishan involved in a game, and right at the end, a really dangerous tackle sparked a big sort of all-in. It wasn't a brawl; it wouldn't go that far, but players were running onto the field, staff members were running onto the field. It was all a bit chaotic, and the game had to be delayed for like 10 minutes just to try to get everything sorted out. Pretty crazy scenes in the Asian Champions League elite in that game. Yeah, we will be definitely streaming doing a live watch along for the Socceroos game next week. Doing live watch alongs for both Socceroos games. In Adelaide for the China game, and then away to Japan, which is going to be the real test for Australia as well. So I think the China game has to be a must-win for Australia next week, man. It's a game that we really should win. Not only should we win, considering China have made a pretty poor start to this round of qualifiers, but we need to win because of the situation in the group. A loss and a draw. We need 3 points. We need points. Speaking of that, Clyde asks, do you think Popovic will be a good manager? If not, do you think he'll be sacked quickly? I think he'll at least see out this qualifying campaign. We'll see how we go. Sydney FC are in behind again. Kaya FC again scrambling back well in defence. I've got my ticket for the game. So Zach, great to hear. Zach says only 200 left. So far left. Wow. Skyler's getting in behind one once again. Waheem, his shot is blocked. And it's Waheem, though. Another strong impact for Sydney FC. Coming off the bench tonight and looking very good. Waheem, ooh, dude. That is Waheem almost scoring a worldie. Caught that volley first time, but sent it over the bar. So Sydney FC, minutes away from another victory here in the Asian Champions League 2, a competition that they're expected to at least progress from the group stage. The same competition that Central Coast Mariners, the A-League rivals, won last season. Sydney FC will be looking to do the same here tonight. Sorry, this season. Long way to go before they lift the trophy, of course. It'll be a fascinating season for both Sydney and Mariners, you know, juggling Asian competition alongside the A-League. Thank you very much for that, Luke. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Says, great running commentary, mate. Buy yourself a coffee on me. Luke, thank you very much for the kind super chat. I greatly appreciate that as Redmayne makes a good save. Kaya FC looking to get one back. Thank you very much for that kind super chat, Luke. Greatly appreciate it. And as I said earlier, very glad that you found the channel, as you said, came up in the algorithm for you, mate. What a save, Redmayne, though. That's that camera angle from behind the goal made it look like a fantastic save. It was indeed. The shot from outside the box. That's a phenomenal save, actually. I mean, the power on that shot. And the way Redmayne got behind that and tipped it over the bar. Fantastic goalkeeper. Goalkeeping situation for the Socceroos is an interesting one, isn't it, Harvey? I mean, we've got Matt Ryan. I still think Matt Ryan is the number one for Australia. It's got to be Izzo and Gauchi for the other two who get picked tomorrow. I know a lot of people are going for Langarak. Looks like he won't be picked. He won't be, called out of retirement. So for me, it's still Matty Ryan leading the way for Australia. Patrick Lamala coming up a little bit sore here after a collision. We are set to enter injury time. Had a few stoppages throughout this second half. Maybe 4 or 5 minutes added on. We'll see. Alizal. Western United will get the wooden spoon this season. Apart from signing Ibasuki, they've been very quiet in the transfer window. Not enough experience in their squad as a whole. I definitely agree with those statements there, Liz. As you say, the Ibasuki signing is a great one. Signing Hiroshi Ibasuki, that's the signing that they needed to make, considering that they really struggled for goals last season. That's what went wrong for Western. They just they were unable to score goals, unfortunately for them. 5 minutes added on in this game. It's a very young lineup, isn't it, for them this season? Very, very young. And as you say, they're very quiet in the transfer window. Not many high-profile players arriving at the club. So they're relying on some of the players who are already there. I've now got 3 Japanese players in the team, in Ibasuki, Danzaki, and Imai, who on their day are all really solid A-League players. Izzo is back up for the Socceroos. Yeah, decent option to have. Izzo and Gauchi. I mean, hopefully we see those guys get a run maybe in the near future for the Socceroos. Another cross coming in for Kaya, and Redmayne has to get behind it again. Do you think Anthony Pavlicic will get any caps for Australia in the near future? I think it's a chance, yeah. I think it's a chance. Of course, Anthony Pavlicic, the goalkeeper who's currently at Bayern Munich, not to be confused with Adam Pavlicic at Central Coast Mariners. 3-1 to Sydney FC, Jade. 3-1 to Sydney FC. It's been an interesting match, hasn't it? Sky Blues conceding after just 3 minutes. A shocking start from the Sky Blues. Joe Lolly equalising in the first half, and then a second half brace for Patrick Lamala. A couple of minutes left in this game. Sydney FC set to make it 2 from 2 in the Champions League 2. Next up for them in this competition is Sanfrecce Hiroshima. But before that, the next competitive game for the Sky Blues is the big one, the Round 1 Sydney Derby, October 19, set to be a sellout at CommBank Stadium. They've won a couple derbies on the road. They've won a couple times at CommBank Stadium over the years. Can they do it once more to kick off the new season? Western Sydney Wanderers, could they be primed to grant a debut to Juan Mata? It's a mouth-watering clash to see the potential lineup of both Douglas Costa and Juan Mata. Here we go. Corner for Kaya FC here. Can they get one back? It's a good defensive header from Burgess, who's been doing... He's an attacking player, but he's been doing a lot of defending since coming on. Now playing at left back. Another cross comes in. Redmayne can't claim it. This is tricky for Sydney, isn't it? Shot fired in. Ooh, that looked like a handball. Oh, it's a pen. No, or is it a free kick? It's definitely a handball. The whistle's been called. It's a free kick. It's not in the box. I think Sydney FC were concerned for a moment there. Wowee. Almost a pen. Let's have a look at the replay. This will be telling. No VAR. They can't overrule the decision. Here's the replay. Just outside the box for me. I mean, their hands were tucked in a little bit, but probably just sticking out enough from Anthony Caceres that you probably could call that a handball in the end. Free kick indeed. Jade reckons penalty. Zach asks, coming down to the Mariners game at Coopers, don't have any plans to get to Adelaide this season, but would love to get there one day for sure. So, with one of the final acts of the game here, Kaya, if they can score here from this free kick, they can make it a really nervy last few seconds in this match. They've been all right in this game, haven't they? They've been okay, Kaya. They have created some decent opportunities. Looking to find a second goal here. You can see this free kick is right on the edge of the box. There are 6 players in the wall. The shot's it. Oh, how did that not go in? Great effort. It was low, and it must have deflected off the wall out for a corner. Justin reckons the handball was a bit harsh. So the free kick was low. Oh, dude, that easily could have ended up in the back of the net. Meanwhile, Sydney FC are counter-attacking away. Could seal it with a fourth here. Klamala for the hat-trick. Great save. And the follow-up is for Burgess, who passes unselfishly. Segicic hits the post. Klamala puts it in. Surely it's offside. The flag stays down. Sydney do have their fourth. And it's Nathan Amanatides, the young star, getting on the score sheet tonight for Sydney FC. 3 points for Sydney, 4 goals on the night. Frustrating for Kaya FC. But the Sky Blues, too strong in the end. Bizarre sequence there at the end. Burgess, he should have had a shot. Segicic from right in front hit the post. Took a deflection, to be fair. And Nathan Amanatides, well, he's not going to miss from that close. But it surely looked like a flag should have gone up there. Someone was surely offside in that sequence. But Sydney FC won't care. It's number 4 for the Sky Blues. 4-1. Sydney score again off the post. Amanatides hasn't got too many games for Sydney FC. Often utilised as a substitute. Has one off the bench here in the Asian Champions League 2. And we have ticked past the allotted injury time. And surely Surely now that's time up. Troy says definitely offside, but clearly the game is over. That's right. That's right. Full time. Full time. Sydney FC cruised through 4-1 in the end after a nervy start, wasn't it? Kaya FC scoring early on. And then 4 goals in the end for Sydney FC. Joe Lolly with the first. Patrick Klamala was good tonight, scored 2 goals in the second half. And then Nathan Amanatides adding the icing on the cake at the end. Overall, a decent performance in the end from Sydney FC. Definitely not as good as match day 1. Maybe he struggled in the humid conditions. But Klamala good tonight. Waheen was good off the bench. Great assist from Douglas Costa for that second goal as well. This is a Sydney FC team who I think we still should expect to be very strong this A-League season, and their next competitive game is the Sydney Derby in a couple of weeks' time. And then following that, they will be taking on Sanfrecce Hiroshima, the top team in Japan, who are in their group stage as well. 4-1 in the end for Sydney FC. Join us live tomorrow. We're going to be live for a reaction and discussion surrounding the Socceroos squad announcement set to be announced tomorrow. It's midday tomorrow, midday Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to come hang out in the chat. We'd love to get your thoughts on the Socceroos squad set to be announced tomorrow. Tony Popovich's first Australia squad as Socceroos head coach. Very excited for this one. Hopefully some real shake-up. Hopefully some surprising calls. And we'd love for you guys to join us for a live discussion surrounding the Socceroos squad. Our next live watch-along is going to be in exactly 1 week. The Socceroos set to take on, I was about to say Adelaide United, but they won't be playing Adelaide United. They will be playing in Adelaide against China. So join us for that live watch-along next Thursday as well. Guys, really appreciate you tuning in for tonight's watch-along. Sydney FC, again, showing their strength and quality tonight. 4-1 against Kaya FC in the Philippines. Hit the like button on the way out. Really appreciate the support as always. Stay subscribed if you want to keep up to date to more live watch-alongs just like this one. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.